Saggies. Happy birthday to us. Anyway, I hope December is treating you well so far and that it continues. It's been a long day, y'all. I hope it continues to treat you well. Let's see what kind of message the card has for us. The card, gosh, wake up, brain. We're not done yet. Okay, that's like 500 cards. We're not doing that. But so far we do have the Five of Swords and the Queen of Cups in reverse. And there is the Chariot. Let's go for one more. It's our birthday, why not? I say ours, yes, I am also a Sag, in case you missed that before. My birthday is Monday, 12/12. No real plans. I'm thinking pizza. Like some kind of pizza, and then a pizza for dessert, like a s'mores pizza. Anyway, let's dive in. This Five of Swords has come out in a couple of other readings this month also, so I've just been noticing where there seems to be like certain trends in the overall energy. We do seem to be breaking off a little bit from those general trends, but as far as the Five of Swords, it's kind of like it's tension, it's conflict, you can see, I mean, he's kind of picking up, but he's still keeping an eye out on what's going on. It could be a sense of loss. He doesn't look particularly happy while he's picking up all of his swords. But I'm not really feeling the loss in particular, so that might be just for a few of you. But conflict definitely has been big in, like, as a theme overall, universally. I would say in at least 80% of the monthly readings that I did for the month of December. Now, one of my friends pointed out when we had the full moon a few nights ago that Mars is particularly close to the moon right now, and that can make us as humans a little more aggressive. So as I said in one of the other readings, with this being kind of more of a universal thread, it's just something to be mindful of, right? So both being mindful of maybe how we're affected in that way for ourselves, and if we're triggered in those ways, to maybe pause before we respond, see where we're coming from, and see if we actually need to be responding in anger, or if there's something else going on below that we need to address. And on the flip side, being mindful when we are in interactions with other people, because they might also be more easily triggered right now, and they might be responding in places of fear and anger and more on that side of the spectrum of aggression. They might need a cool off or a second take. Say, hey, what's really going on? I know that how you responded just now was not personally directed toward me. What's going on? Sometimes we need that. So be gracious toward yourself and towards others, just in that particular aspect, okay? Let's move on. The Queen of Cups in the reverse, she is typically very emotionally stable. Cups in general talk about emotions, and we do have 2 out of the 4 here that are cups. So back to the Queen of Cups. It can be where you're feeling a little bit unstable in your emotions when she's in the reverse. It could also signify that there's some level of codependency going on. So for some of you, it can be that, you know, we don't have a real strong sense of independence. We don't have a real strong sense of ourselves outside of our main connections, whether that be romantic or not. You know, sometimes we can be codependent on our friend group, or even just within our colleagues. If our colleagues are the principal players in our lives that we're interacting with, we can build codependencies in that realm as well. So don't just think that that's limited to romantic relationships. I do see it more, though, as that just having a little bit of, I don't want to say disturbance, but yeah, a little bit of instability within your emotions, within our emotions. Certainly I've struggled within the last week or so. This first part of December, it's just been a little bit of a struggle. That's why all of these readings are out a little bit late, you know? I was kind of in denial about this depression phase that I've been going through. So maybe you're kind of coming to this realization that I had this week too, where it's like, man, yeah, that's where I've been. There have been other things going on too that have limited me, but I was in denial about that particular aspect. And it can be really hard to admit when our emotions are out of control or are taking us to places that are less than comfortable, less than kind. But by acknowledging them, or acknowledging those instances, we're able to work with them instead of resisting them. And in working with them, we can find solutions and we can make it better. Or at least I like to think so. We can give ourselves a fighting chance. So maybe that's something that you need to be addressing right now. I know I did. Yeah. Happy birthday to us. Heading right towards emotional stability from our instability, right? And just a reminder too, every time that we fall into those kinds of things, even if that's not a habit for you, if that's kind of a one-off for you, we learn more about ourselves. We can learn what triggers us and how, you know, what kind of tools work for us. We can, you know, have more clues as to what sets us into that default. So keep an eye out for what you can learn from it too. The Chariot can talk about movement. It can talk about things happening quickly. It's definitely not a sit still kind of a card. It can also be a card of victory, you know? I mean, if you look at this guy, he's focused on where he wants to go. He knows where he's going. And he does look victorious. Why is someone calling me at 1:14 in the morning? I have no idea. But we're going to ignore it. Welcome to the chaos, my friends. Where was I? With the Chariot. You can tell that this person is focused on where they're going, and I wouldn't say that he's in a celebration mode that you would normally see for victory. Yeah. It's kind of an odd way to picture it, right? But it's there. Look at his face. you know, kind of a silent happiness, I guess, a more stoic victory. So these feel like kind of where we have been and where we are maybe right now. I always get confused by the mirroring. Anyways, that feels like, you know, where we've been, where we are now. This feels like where we're going. So we're pushing through all of this into this energy, into this victory, into this forward movement, keeping our eyes on the prize. It keeps repeating in my brain, moving forward. And certainly, I mean, I can see where that's true for me. Finally, we have the Ace of Cups. Again, kind of a where we're going kind of an energy. Ace of Cups can be new directions in a few different ways. It can be new opportunities in romantic relationships. But if romance isn't on your radar at all, I mean, it can still pop up. We know that. But it can also just be something new within the creative realm that is coming up for you. Maybe a new venture that you have, not necessarily business focused, but like art or music, or, you know, maybe you're getting back into something within that creative realm for your expression. Again, cups are emotions, and what better way to express ourselves than through all those different avenues of art. Okay, maybe this is just encouraging you to reconnect with that part of you. One other aspect of the Ace of Cups, it can be, I mean, if you look, this cup is overflowing. And sometimes it can be this representation of our emotions and how we are just overwhelmed with emotion. Not one kind of emotion. It can be multiple layers of emotion, and that's what makes it overwhelming, right? It could be one particular kind of emotion that just comes in such a wave that it feels like you're drowning. But personally, what I most connect with and what I see overall in this reading, I'm seeing this progression from this overall state. Keeping the eye on, focusing on where you're going. You have clear direction. You know where you want your life to go. So you do, I mean, you use this focus to get through all of this. And on the other side of it, or maybe even just the other end of it, maybe when you're not quite through it, we can still use these emotions to reignite creative passions. Or if it is on the other end of it, it's this new creative birth almost. So that's what I'm seeing. Again, there's a lot of different ways for this stuff to go. This is a general reading, so take what's for you and leave what isn't. There was a lot in here. Not everything has to apply to you specifically because it's a general reading. I think we've covered a lot of bases here. So let's go ahead with a quick advice card from the Oracle of E. Loud and clear. Now, the cool thing about this deck, maybe you've heard me talk about it before, I feel like it's a direct connection to my friend Beth, my best friend Beth. It's her deck, and her name was Elizabeth. So it just feels like a direct connection to her. And she was also a Sagittarius. So loud and clear to me is just an affirmation that, yeah, you're on the right track here. For me personally, it's reassurance that battles the doubts in my mind that just want to invalidate this whole journey, right? But I'm reassured also in that I get to help people daily. So whatever that reassurance is that you are needing right now, the universe hears you loud and clear. You are on the right path. You are focused. And no matter what your emotions are doing around you, you are experiencing that forward movement. So take that with you and know that you're definitely on the right path. You're going in the right way, the right direction. Okay. I'm going to continue this over on Patreon with some clarifying cards. I don't even know that we need them, but I'm going to do it anyways. There always seems to be some kind of additional message that comes through, even when it feels like we don't really need it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you want to meet me over on Patreon, the link will be down here in the description. But even if this is where we part ways, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I just appreciate you being here. Thank you. I love you lots, and yeah, again, happy birthday. I hope that December treats you well.